Hello and welcome back to moreveggiesmom.com. Today I am going to make a veggie lasagna. I really think you're going to like it. Takes a little bit of time, but well worth it. Just so that you're aware, I did make roasted garlic hummus and a double batch of spaghetti sauce previously. You can see those recipes on moreveggiesmom.com. We're going to get started by cutting a zucchini. Now when we're talking about trying to get kids to eat vegetables, we definitely want smaller. In general, smaller is better. So we're going to do fourths. And my zucchini's a little curved, so I cut it a little curved. I don't know if you can see that. I cut it curvy. But I just cut it in half, and then in half, each half in half. So we've got quarters, and then we're gonna do nice thin slices. And that's it for our one zucchini. Here I've got a 10-ounce package of spinach. Now this barely fits onto my board, so I'm just piling it up and smashing it down and just getting it done. Just give it a coarse chop. We're not going for perfect, we're just going for yummy. Something healthy and good that our kids will eat. And that's ready to go. Before we start cooking our vegetables, we're going to make some ricotta cheese. You can use real ricotta if you'd like, or you can use cottage cheese, but if you do it this way, you're going to get some added vegetables because I am using tofu. It's two 14-ounce packages of tofu. I pressed them, of course, and now I'm just mashing them with a little potato masher. I'm going to get it nice and fine so that it looks like ricotta cheese, and then I'm going to add some other things to it. So here's what it looks like all mashed up. We are going to add 10 ounces or a heaping cup of roasted garlic hummus, a 1/4 cup of fresh minced basil, 1/2 of a cup of nutritional yeast flakes. For those of you who don't know, nutritional yeast is just a deactivated yeast. It's high in B vitamins. You can find it at any store. We're going to do a teaspoon of garlic powder and a teaspoon of salt. And just mix it all together. You know, tofu really does get a bad rap. It is just bean curds. It's just soybeans that are curdled. And so it's really quite healthy for you, actually. And it's a tricky way to get your kids to eat vegetables without them even knowing it. Here's what it looks like all mixed up. And now I'm going to preheat my stove. I'm going to preheat a large pan for my vegetables onto a medium-high heat. And I'm going to start a large pot of water to boil. At this point, I'm also going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees, and my pan is warm, so I'm going to get started with my vegetables. We're going to put a tablespoon of oil into our pan. Let that warm up a bit, it'll get shiny. We're going to do the zucchini and the mushrooms together because they'll cook at about the same rate. There we go. You should hear it start to cook when it hits the pan. You are going to add a little bit of salt to this, and you're just going to stir and cook for about 5 minutes. Until it looks like this. And I apologize, it is not 5 minutes. That was something else. It is more like 2 minutes. It is starting to give off its moisture, but it's not completely cooked yet. Okay, so I'm putting in my cup of frozen peas. And my spinach, which I'm going to try really hard not to drop all over the floor here. Maybe easier to put it in a half at a time and give it a stir so that it doesn't all come out of your pan. Me, I don't mind wiping up after myself. I do mind making more trips over to the counter. I don't know why. I'm odd. We are just going to stir this until our spinach is wilted. So here are our veggies. You can see all that spinach is wilted and it's ready to go, and I've turned off the heat. My pot of water is now at a full boil, so I'm going to add 9 lasagna noodles. Generally I like to use whole wheat. This time I couldn't find any, so I'm using enriched macaroni product. After adding the noodles, the boil will reduce, and then it'll take a minute to come back up to heat. Once it does, I'm actually going to lower it to a medium and just let those cook until they're nice and soft. Then we're going to get a casserole dish. And I have my spaghetti sauce that I made earlier. We're going to use 5 cups of it. And the other I'm just going to put into the fridge and I'll use it later this week. So you're going to want to line up in a row your lasagna noodles, your spaghetti sauce, your vegetables, and ricotta cheese, or, tofu ricotta. And I have my casserole dish sitting there, and also a 1 cup measuring cup. To assemble our lasagna, we are going to start with 1 cup of sauce in the bottom of our pan and just spread it out. I rinsed my noodles in cool water so that I could pick them up. We're going to do 3 across here, just to cover the bottom. Then we will do 1/3 of our ricotta tofu and try to spread that out the best we can. It might be easiest if you take a fork along with your spatula here and spread it out that way, because it does tend to stick a little bit. And a little bit more in here. And then 1/3 of your vegetable mixture. I'm going to spread it out the best you can. It's not going to be perfect, and that's fine. Bob Ross, well, I'll have just happy little accidents. Another cup of spaghetti sauce right over the top of that. You'll have to be a bit more careful when pouring it on so that it spreads out evenly than when you first just threw it in the bottom of the pan. Kind of just try to cover it a little bit there. And then just repeat. Noodles, ricotta, vegetables, then sauce. We're going to have 3 layers. What each layer is going to look like before you add your last cup of sauce on here. Now, if you would like, you can do 12 noodles instead of 9. And then put those over the top and add some more sauce and some Parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese, whatever you'd like. I have chosen not to, so I'm just going to leave mine just like this. However, I am going to add that last cup of sauce. So it's 5 cups of sauce total. I do have some left over here, and I'm going to just put that in the fridge, and I will use it later in the week for my zoodles. I'm going to cover this with foil. If you're doing cheese on top, don't add it yet, because the cheese will just stick to your foil, and you'll rip it all off. So just cover this with foil and put it into our oven, which is preheated to 350 degrees. It will go in there for a half hour or until it's all bubbly everywhere. And then if you're adding the cheese, take the foil off, put the cheese on, put it back in the oven for about 5 minutes to give it a chance to melt. So here is our vegetable lasagna. Make sure you wait about 15 minutes after it comes out of the oven to cut into it so it's a little bit more firm and it doesn't just fall apart for you. But it's delicious, and I hope that you enjoy it, and thank you so much for watching.